made me a monster.
You have murder in your eyes. He deserves to die.
The samurai. I saw its eyes. It's not human.
I want to know everything there is to know about your demon. He'll come. He'll stand right here. And he will open your throat.
So Blue Eye Samurai is a show on Netflix, and it was highly recommended to me by my students. They keep raging about how awesome it is, how good it is, and of course they are wrong. The kids these days, they just don't know what's going on. So what is Blue Eye Samurai? It's an animated series about a samurai warrior set in 1622 Japan. And I mean, obviously it's not about a samurai, it's about a ronin. Not even really a ronin, honestly. This person is not even a ronin. They're just a highly skilled fighter, highly skilled warrior. And they can overcome impossible odds. And they do so 4 or 5 times throughout the first season alone. And I'm talking literally impossible odds, single-handedly taking on who are considered to be the 4 most capable warriors in all of Japan and winning. Now, getting severely hurt in the process, but still, you should have been severely dead. You're going to be fighting 4 people who are highly trained? Yeah, you're not going to win that fight unless you have god power somehow. So I do want to give you a heads up there. There's going to be more spoilers to come in this review of the show. Yeah, it's a weird little thing about this show. I think a lot of people would recommend you watch it because there's a lot of cool action, etc. And the animation is interesting, and they did a pretty good job of capturing that time in Japan. And there's a lot of interesting, like, I guess, social political comments to be made, but is it worth giving into the woke to watch this show? Now, before we get started, I do want to thank everybody for stopping by and supporting my channel. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed because YouTube does unsubscribe people every single day. So, as I said, the story is compelling. You just want to see what's going to happen next. There's just something about it. It's like, okay, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? There's that. But it does get so much full of crap with how easy it is for the main character to overcome impossible odds. It's just too far gone in that regard. Like I mentioned, the 4 warriors. There's taking on like 30 armed warriors in one episode. It was like, okay, yeah, you get wounded and then you pick yourself back up. You seem to suffer no long-term consequences from being stabbed, etc. Things like that. It's just too far-fetched in that regard. They could have made it. They could have brought it more down to earth, and it would have been more of a believable show. And I think that would have made it even better. So the main character wants to kill whoever is their father. I don't know who that person is, but we know that the Blue Eye Samurai is a half-breed, half white, half Japanese. And according to the show, well, this is true, I don't know. In 1622, there were only 4 men who were European in Japan. So the goal is to hunt these men down and kill them. But it was not clear to me why. There was, I guess, the explanation that by making a half-breed, you've made a monster and you've made somebody unpure, and therefore you must eradicate the parents of the person. Why not eradicate your mother? Why not kill your mother? Why not? I mean, no, just the father. He's the one who's white. He's the one who's evil. Where have we heard that before? Why not kill yourself? You're the one who's impure. I'm not saying that you should do any of those things, but these notions don't seem to come out in the show. It's all about, oh, we got to hunt down the white guy and kill him because he's bad. He's the big bad. He's the biggest bad of all the bads ever. All right, so we start off by being shown the Blue Eye Samurai, and then we have flashbacks to the childhood and upbringing, and then more fights with the Blue Eyed Samurai. The whole time I'm going, Blue Eye Samurai is a girl. Blue Eye Samurai is a girl, even though we're supposed to believe the Blue Eye Samurai is a boy. But in the end of the first episode, it is revealed that the Blue Eye Samurai is in fact a girl. And so, see, the most powerful warrior ever to grace Japan, the most legendary warrior, according to the show, is a trans. It's a female trans. Yeah, it's great writing. I mean, you couldn't have sold the show if it had been just a man. I mean, literally, you couldn't have. They wouldn't have bought the show. But that in the reality, we know that if there is ever someone who can say, I'm the greatest warrior, hand-to-hand combat, it's going to be male. Just period, hands down. That's just how it is. Because lung capacity, muscle density, etc. That's just the way that it is. The whole show, of course, this is the most powerful person in Japan, the most powerful warrior ever seen in Japan, and can overcome impossible odds. Well, that says a lot about girl power or trans power right there. That points to, yeah, you're just making this out to be, look how awesome this girl is. See, a boy can't do this, and every person that she fights in the show is a boy. Every person that she loses, no, she doesn't lose to anybody. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. What was I thinking? She wins every single fight somehow, some way. And she's evil. She's an evil person. She is the only evil woman in the whole show, by the way. All of the other women in the show are good, are depicted as being goodly. And the only other evil people in the show are men. All bad guys are men. Main character is just rotten to the core. We're not disclosed that information. It just builds up over the course of the show. And we see how driven this individual is, and how narrow-minded and just wanting to harm others this person is. But then they make the men out to be just truly heinous too. And the things that they have the men in the show doing, it's horrifying, really. This stuff is. And there is one good man. She has a flashback to where she gets married to a Ronin, and everything is going really well. He even flat out states, "I'm not a brute," on their first night together. And so he moves his sleeping mat across the room to sleep. And they are together for some time, getting to know each other before they finally consummate the marriage. But then one day he decides to kind of like train her in fighting techniques. Given the fact that he is a Ronin, he should know how to fight, you would think. And then she just outclasses him, and he gets angry, and then he takes everything that he had promised her and sells it to his lord to hopefully gain the favor of his lord. And then when he comes back from doing that, it's just at the same time that some bounty hunters are showing up to accost her, kill her. It was never disclosed why. I'm assuming it's because she's a half-breed and they want to get rid of all half-breeds. I don't know. That's my guess. And then he sees what's happening and he rides off. But then he comes back as soon as the fighting is done with his sword. He's like, "I went to get my sword. I was trying to help you." And then her mother comes out and starts berating him, and like she's just going off on how he's the bad guy and she can't trust him and he's evil. And so then he stabs the mother, and then the main character tosses a knife into his skull. So you see, you can't even have a good man. You can't even let her husband, who showed himself to be a good man all the way through until you decide to twist it. Oh no, men can't be good. Men are never good. It's only women that are good. There were some men in the show that were good, but they were not warriors, not fighters at all. So I mean, it would have been so much easier just to say, yeah, he was a good man through and through, and then this bounty hunter situation happened, that they found him, and he stood up and fought for you, and he ended up dying. And this makes the main character seem much more like a tragic character. She had found peace and happiness in a life for herself, and she could have had children. Even that would have been even more sympathetic. She had a baby, and they would have killed the baby, and then they killed the husband, and then she manages to defend herself, keep herself from dying anyway. That would have been something that would have actually made you go, okay, I can actually feel for this main character now. I can actually get it. But no, it's not. It's all about how, oh, look, women are oppressed. We were told this repeatedly throughout the show. Women are oppressed in Japan in the 1622. They have no options. They just have to do what it is they're told to do. They have to be little servants to men, and men are all big baddies and meanies and all this stuff. And I'm like, really? I mean, I don't need to. Do I need to go into the biology and anthropology of living in the past when we didn't have birth control? When women had a position in life that they had to hold because they had to raise children? When men had to go, I mean, when women held all sorts of positions. Women worked in mining in the past. So don't even start this with me that women just sat around home taking care of the kids and maybe tended a garden. No, they did a lot of manual labor, and they endured a lot of hardship that men were enduring too. But the fact is a lot of the women had a better option than men. If they could get a wealthy man, they could be a kept woman, and they didn't have to endure these hardships. Life isn't easy for anyone. Well, that's probably not true today, but life is hard for most people. Life is painful a lot, just because that's the nature of you got to give and take. You can't have it all. So that's the main character, overcoming impossible odds, hating her father because he's a white man. He's an evil white man. And by the way, the white men are the most evil. We're told this in the show. The white men are the most evil, and white men are the best at killing out of all the men in the world. They've perfected it. They've done it so much better than anybody else. It's just flat out stated in the show. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it sounds like it's pretty woke to me. We have the princess. I have to talk about the princess. Princess is poised to be the secondary main character, the second main character, but that doesn't really pan out. She does have a lot of screen time, and her story is also played out before us. She is always complaining about, oh, it's so hard to be the princess because I don't get a choice. I'm not free to do what I want to do. I have my station in life. This does get challenged, surprisingly. She decides that the solution to her problems in life, like every strong independent woman, is to go get into sex work. So she's going to go join the prostitutes and do that. Now, that doesn't ever pan out for her, actually, but she does go down that path and join a brothel, but she doesn't actually do any work. And then she gets captured by her father's men and taken back to his city, the city that she's from, or what. I don't remember exactly if she went to I think she was in the city where she was going to be married. And then the prostitutes that she had partnered up with come through. Oh, and it's nice to see you. And they're all like, yeah, I would kill to have your life. What I mean, what do you think? You'd rather live like we do? Or would you rather live in the lap of luxury? It's like, you got to give and take. Like I just said, you got to give and take in life. You can't have it all. So yeah, you might be a kept woman. It might not be as free as you want to be, but what are the alternatives? And so she actually, her story, she gets married, but she was in love with this other minor lord, and he comes to her, he finds her, he hunted her down, and he tracked her down, and he's like, look, I just want to be happy. I want to be with you. I want to be happy. And she's like, I want greatness. She's threw that all away, all that love away. Very, very poignant commentary on the way modern women act. She's like, I just want greatness. I just want to be great now. She didn't want freedom anymore. She wanted to be great. And it's just, you're going to make this stuff, and you spread these messages, and look what it's doing to the world. Country's falling apart. You know, dating and relationships are a joke for the most part. Look at what happened to Steven Crowder. You know, he and his wife were virgins, I believe, weren't they, when they got together? Didn't work out. She's now trying to wreck him in court. Why? Because she wants greatness. She's the boss babe. She's the go-girl. I can do it all. I don't need no man. Except you do need a man. You need him to pay you every month. But they don't see it that way. And it's because of crap like this, like Blue Eye Samurai, tell them that they are great, they're the best, they can do the best, they can do anything a man can do, only they can do it better. But they don't see that to do all that, they have to take it from a man. So anyway, that's all I got for this time. Don't watch Blue Eye Samurai. It's not worth it. And I will see you in the next video.